You're looking for that magic phrase. That secret combination of words that will make her look at you with different eyes. One filled with desire, interest, passion. You've read about these forbidden phrases. You expect me to reveal 3 magic sentences to you right now, like a key to a lock. Well, I'll disappoint you. Right now. Because the problem isn't in the words. No phrase, even the most clever one, will work if the man behind it is weak. Someone looking for shortcuts, hacks, and secret codes. The world doesn't work that way. People, especially women, don't read words, but context. The foundation on which those words stand. Do you feel like your words are weightless? Are they empty, like a cardboard sword? Do they not cut, but merely slap the air? That's right, because the power isn't in the words. It's in the context you create. This context is your internal operating system, your hardware. And while you're trying to update icons on your desktop, the system inside freezes and glitches. Today we won't talk about software, about those forbidden phrases that are just an add-on. Today we're reprogramming the hardware, deep fundamental. And here, Stoicism will help us. Forget everything you've heard about it. It's not about suppressing emotions. It's not about a stone face. It's about a steel core within, about your inner logos, reason and principle. Stoicism is the operating system of a warrior philosopher. It makes a man unshakable in a world of chaos. When everything around him is crumbling and rushing to hell, he remains a point of support, a rock against which the waves of problems crash. Such a man doesn't seek approval. He doesn't whine. He doesn't put life off until tomorrow. He simply does. He goes towards his goals. His words are the result of his actions. His silence carries more weight than 1,000 other people's words. This is a foundation of true, wild attraction, not an artificial technique, but a natural state, a power that doesn't need to be demonstrated. It simply exists. It's felt. People flock to it like moths to a flame. Are you ready to look within? Ready to see the 3 phrases that are actually killing your attraction? The 3 poisons you voluntarily instill in your mind every day? They're not what you think. These aren't phrases you shouldn't say to her. These are 3 toxic patterns you must ban yourself from forever. Friends, please subscribe, like, and comment. This is very important to us. And we continue. Meet the 3 forbidden phrases that make you invisible to truly strong women. And yes, we'll explore how to reprogram each of these glitches. Let's go. Section 1. 3 forbidden phrases, but not the ones you think. Forget about gimmicks and cliched phrases for seduction. The real work begins not with what you say to her, but with what you say to yourself. This is the internal dialogue that shapes your reality. And it is also your greatest enemy or ally. I will show you 3 mental traps. 3 poisonous phrases that you utter to yourself without even realizing it. They are the root of the problem. And until you pull out this root, any external techniques will be mere theater. First, I'll do it tomorrow, the kingdom of empty promises. Do you think this is just procrastination? Wrong. It is a fundamental decay of your willpower. Every time you say tomorrow to your own decision, to go to the gym, to start a project, to change jobs, you sign your own death warrant. You're sending a clear signal to the world and especially to yourself. I can't be controlled. I'm untrustworthy. Why does this repel her? A woman isn't a logician. She's an intuitive reader. She doesn't listen to your grandiose plans. She reads energy. The energy of a man who doesn't respect his own decisions. An unreliable man is an evolutionary threat. In ancient times, it was a partner who wouldn't produce a mammoth. Today, it's a partner who won't bring stability, emotional security, or confidence in the future. Her instincts whisper, run. The Stoic solution, inner imperative. Marcus Aurelius can help us here. His steel-hard formula. Get up in the morning, conquer yourself. Get up. You don't need a titanic feat. You need a small action. Right now. Not go to the gym, but put on my sneakers and go outside. Not write a book, but write 1 paragraph. Not make 1,000,000, but make a monthly plan. Remember, action breeds confidence. Confidence breeds action. A vicious circle of power. You break it with one small but tangible action. Not tomorrow. Today. Second mistake. And there he is, and she tells me, this is your inner victim chorus. You constantly complain. You gossip. You recount how your boss is a jerk, the government is a bunch of thieves, and your ex is crazy. You look for someone to blame. This is the victim's position, voluntarily surrendering their power to external circumstances. You say, look what they did to me. But in reality, you scream, I'm helpless. Why does this repel her? The energy of complaint is psychic vampirism. It's a black hole that sucks the lifeblood out of everyone around you. You come to her not as a source of strength and solutions, but as a problem child who demands consolation. You force her to do the emotional labor for you. A weak man drains energy. A strong man gives it. The Stoic solution, the dichotomy of control. Epictetus gave us the ultimate tool. Our actions and our own power. Come what may, our virtue may remain unsullied. Take a piece of paper. Right now, divide it into 2 columns. What is under my control? My thoughts, my actions, my goals, my reactions, my values. What is not under my control? Other people's opinions, crises, traffic jams, the past, other people's actions. Your task is to focus 100% of your energy on the first column. Stop being a ball that bounces off any external impact. You are a wall. Instead of he made me angry, tell yourself, I allowed his words to affect my peace. My reaction is my choice. Third, you need to understand how I feel. You constantly make excuses. You explain your feelings, your actions. You crave understanding and approval. You think this is a sign of depth. In reality, it's a cry for help. A sign of a complete lack of self-worth. It's as if you're saying, I'm not sure I'm right, so please confirm for me. Why does this repel her? A man seeking approval unwittingly places a woman in the role of judge, a mother who must evaluate, praise, or scold. You destroy the romantic dynamic. The power of attraction lies in your ability to be at peace with your own decisions without requiring external approval. She needs a captain, not a passenger who constantly asks, am I steering correctly? Stoic decision, judicial ability. Seneca said, he who conquers his desires is stronger than he who conquers his enemies. Overcoming the thirst for approval is the greatest victory. Develop an inner compass. Before any action or word, ask yourself honestly, am I doing this because it is right according to my principles? Or to impress, to please, to gain approval? Your principles are your only judge. Your conscience is your main spectator. When you act according to an inner code, your speech becomes quieter. Your words become more powerful. You stop rushing. You simply are. And in this steadfastness is born the very mystery that attracts like a magnet. Section 2. The alchemy of masculine power. How to transform inhibitions into attraction. So, you've recognized the enemy. You've seen the 3 poisonous phrases that have been poisoning your inner world. Now for the main thing. Alchemy. How to transform this knowledge into unmissable strength. How to transform weakness into attraction. We won't teach you acting. You don't need to pretend. You need to become. When you change your inner state, your outer manifestation changes automatically, effortlessly, naturally. Let's see how this magic happens in practice. From I'll do it tomorrow to action. Remember that man who constantly promised himself to start on Monday. What did he radiate? The energy of unfulfilled hopes, disappointment, weak willpower. Now imagine a man who simply does things. He doesn't shout about his plans from the rooftops. He gets up and goes. In the morning, for a run. In the evening, he works on his project. He doesn't talk, he acts. What happens to his speech? It becomes clear, specific. Instead of, I'll open my own business someday, you hear, I filed the registration documents yesterday. Instead of, I need to tone up, you hear, I bench press 200 pounds a day. An aura of competence and reliability emerges. You can rely on such a person. He commands respect. He doesn't play at being successful. He moves toward his goal. And this determination, this inner composure, is incredibly sexy. It speaks on a deep, subconscious level. This man is capable of providing, protecting, and leading. I feel safe with him. From complaint to responsibility. Remember someone who constantly whines about the unfairness of life. Someone who blames others for everything. After talking to them, you feel empty. They are an energy drain. Now look at a man who has adopted the dichotomy of control. Someone comes to him with a problem. He doesn't panic. He's calm. He listens. And then he doesn't say, "Yeah, that's terrible. How unlucky you are." He says, "Okay, what can we do about this? What are our options?" He becomes a source of calm, stability in any storm. He doesn't discuss problems. He focuses on solutions. He doesn't waste his energy on complaints. He concentrates it on action. A woman is instinctively drawn to such a man because he's a rock. With him, she can relax, be weak, and not be afraid of life. He won't exacerbate her anxieties. He will dissolve them. He creates a foundation of security on which to build anything, from a relationship to a family, from approval to self-sufficiency. Remember the man who constantly makes excuses and seeks praise. He's like a beggar. Only he's asking not for money but for a confirmation of his worth. This is off-putting. Now look at a man who has found an inner compass. His self-worth no longer depends on the opinions and judgments of others. He does what he believes is right. Period. What changes? His silence becomes weighty. He doesn't engage in empty arguments to prove his point. He simply states his position and stands by it. His words become deliberate. He doesn't babble, because he doesn't need to fill the silence with his verbiage to seem significant. He's an enigma. There's depth to his calm confidence. You want to peer into him. You want to unravel him. He doesn't place a woman on a pedestal of judgment. He invites her into his world as an equal. And this generates not just interest, but the deepest respect. He is valuable in and of himself, not because of someone else's approval. The key takeaway from this section: remember this once and for all. A woman doesn't want to hear some forbidden phrase. She wants to see a man standing behind her. She wants to feel the energy of a man who takes action, not promises, takes responsibility, not blames, is valuable in itself, not seeks approval. That's the whole alchemy. Don't memorize phrases. Become a person who doesn't need them. Everything else will follow. Conclusion: returning to the whole. So, we've come full circle. We began by searching for a magic pill, the forbidden phrase, and ended by reprogramming your inner code. This is the path from a boy seeking external approval to a man who builds his reality from within. Let's the eyes. A philosophical conclusion. All this work isn't about how to please women. That's a side effect. A pleasant one, but a side effect. The real goal is to gain power, but not power over others. That's an illusion and a slavery. But power over yourself, over your tomorrow, over your self-pity, over your need for approval. This is the only true power that no one can ever take away from you. Stoicism isn't a dusty philosophy textbook. It's a combat system, a technology for forging the spirit in the modern world. This is a helping hand extended to us through the millennia from Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus. They knew your greatest enemy and greatest ally is yourself. The path of the warrior philosopher is a path of daily battle on this inner field. And every small action you take, every tomorrow you overcome, every responsibility you accept, this is your victory. One final point. Stop chasing butterflies. You waste your energy running around with a net, scaring them, and ending up empty-handed. Your task is to cultivate your garden, not so that the butterflies will come, but because it is your garden, because you must do it. Water your will with daily actions. Fertilize your mind with the right thoughts and a strict dichotomy of control. Surround your inner world with a strong fence of your principles. Make your garden so green, so blooming, so full of life and harmony that it will become the best place on earth. Most of all, for yourself. And then a miracle will happen. You will no longer need to call anyone, seduce anyone, or persuade anyone. Butterflies will fly to you of their own accord. Bees will be drawn to your honey of their own accord. Because strength, calm, and confidence are the most powerful magnet in the universe. Your task is not to chase. Your task is to be worthy. A call to action. Everything you've learned is useless if it remains just knowledge. Philosophy without action is just talk. Therefore, your journey doesn't begin tomorrow. It begins the very second you finish reading this text. Your call to action is simple and stern. Ban yourself from these 3 thought patterns. Not for a day, not for a week, forever. From today on, you are a person of action. From today on, you are the master of your own responsibility. From today, you are your own judge. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Don't wait for Monday. Don't wait for a sign from above. Start small. Right now, do one small task you've been putting off. Stop one complaining thought. Make one decision without regard for anyone else's opinion. Conquer yourself today. Just once. The rest will follow.